Greetings and salutations. Just a little sound check. So I'm here in was it Valheim? Let me see. Let me see. Close settings. Yeah, Valheim. Yeah, I'm here in Valheim. I think I got about 30 hours into it. Just recently moved into the hit tab. Recently moved into the Bronze Age. I've gotten a bronze axe and a bronze pickaxe, and I just kind of wanted to get some thoughts and some feedback. I was able to make a cart, and I've kind of been, I got a lot of time in these survival games now. Maybe close 3 or 4 thousand hours in all these combined, these different survival games, and I'm kind of been taking this a little bit more passively. Like I haven't just immediately binged played through it. I've watched a whole bunch of YouTube videos to get an idea of what and so there's aspects that I really like. And the one thing that I've noticed that no one has really talked about is I think their food system is arguably the best food system that I have experienced yet. uh, the way that when you eat food, it adds attributes like health and stamina. And the more complex the recipes, the more health and stamina you get, and it puts you on this treadmill to where not necessarily like you're dying like with Imperium and Conan. You start to die if you don't have well, not Conan, but some of these other games, you start to die if you don't have food. Where this one, it just minimizes your stuff down to where you can do some of your remedial stuff like smithing, and if you're just sitting there waiting for stuff to to process, you're not cooking through all of your valuable recipes in the process. But then when you go venture out, you can tailor your stamina and health based off of your food recipe. So let's say you need a bunch of health, so you can eat a bunch of food to amp that up versus a bunch of stamina and vice versa. So really, hands down, I think their food system, crafting food system. I think if Conan could implement this food system, it would be a far superior game. Definitely, definitely. We're gonna segue into the the building and crafting. So I noticed that the building system needs a little bit of work. There are some issues with line of sight and visibility. Like it's hard to snap down and build below your surface. It's really hard to do that. So it needs a little bit of tuning and refinement. I really like the exploration. And now we'll segue into the the kind of the crafting or recipe kind of construct. I really like the whole building and exploration, the way that it's laid out to where like if you pick up a pine and then you pick up a seed, you're able to make, or you pick up an antler, then you're able to make like a hoe. And then if you pick up a certain stone, unlocks an additional recipe. So as these more mats that you acquire, and certain recipes they're basically locked behind materials. I really like that. I really like how that is the construct of that, and it fits really well in this game. So I got to give them a good prop for that. But this kind of leads into a couple. I know those attributes have been really positive, but there are some big negatives too. So I'm running an AMD 3900X, 12 core processors with like I think it's 70 megabytes of onboard cache. I mean, it's a beast. It is a beast. Um, you know, and then I got a 6800 XT, Red Devil Edition graphics card, and it's a beast. And it's not the Founders Edition. It's the plus. And great cooling fans. In most games like Space Engineers, I'll run 120 frames per second. You'll see here in the video, if you look in the top right corner, I keep my frame rate up there. And what I find interesting is the graphics on this game are doo-doo. And I know they're going for a stylistic graphic, but in today's age, that is a very questionable design construct, because you're continuously pushing the envelope of 4K, and they're moving into 8K games. and the monitors resolutions are increasing exponentially. They're you going from 1080p to 2K to 4K, and it's like, and you're getting these graphic cards that are really powerful now, that are sucking down 350 watts, and you're coming out with a title that looks like it was designed for an 8-year-old to be played on a tablet, uh, a kid's tablet. This game really looks horrible. And what they've done is they've lowered these graphics down, or this texture resolution, and then they've maxed out the all the shaders and the smoke and the lighting, and so that's what's eating up all the frame rate. But the issue is for as bad as it looks overall, um, it runs like doo doo. I mean, for as bad as it looks, this thing should be running. Uh, it should be running much higher frame rate. So it's like you don't get the best of both worlds. If you have a bad looking game, then poor graphics, then you have this expectation that it's gonna run maxed out frame rates and be easy on the load on your machine is gonna be much easier. But that's not the case at all. So there badly needs to be um, some optimization in this game, because it needs some work. It does. It needs some work. And I know it's early access, but I no longer take that as a measure of if something needs to be you know done or not done, because that's games stay in early access at this point now for like 10 years. So that's a very subjective construct in this time and age. But that's so far that's my biggest complaint. I really like the way that they've set up the server functions from the how your character and your world seed are different, and so you can keep rolling your character into world seeds, and it also kind of plays into the multiplayer facet of when you join somebody else's game, you're in their seed, but you keep everything you have in your inventory, and then you can go back to a previous seed if you need to. So I really like how they've done that. And they've done a really good job doing that. So lots of positives overall, and I just noticed YouTube is on fire with this game. I mean, everybody's kind of dropped, and I'm wondering if it's going to have the longevity once everybody kind of burns through all the progression. Um, yeah, so I'm kind of wondering if I just saw a news blurb and it caught it out of my corner of the eye. Yeah, so I'm wondering if let me see where I'm at my weight. Okay, I'm good. So and I liked the inventory is okay, the inventory management's okay. I really like the skill tree, how it's kind of got that old Skyrim. You level up what you use. I really like that. I do and I like how they have all the farming and like over here I have this cart that I did. I would love to see some of these other like a cart and Conan. They have the Baron's headpiece that allows you to hold more items. Definitely, the cart construct is, you know. Oh, okay. I guess that's the end of my. So what I've been doing is, instead of dragging the cart back and forth, I just use the cart really to store the wood and all the excess stuff, and so that way I'm not beating up my cart. What is this? This regular wood. So, and I know I'm going to need that stone at some point, so I'll take. See, I'm overweight, so I know that needs to stay with that. If I take this out, what does this do? Ooh, right there. Okay, that's good. And I'll go smelt this copper down, and I'll just run back real quick. And you know, and then I like how the monsters respawn. I have not figured out if trees respawn, if the densities of trees respawn, or if they grow back. I haven't figured out if if dungeons reset yet, because it seems like some of the dungeons are few and far between. And so, this is just at this point, this is just kind of an initial first impression. Something else that I noticed is like some of the animations are the same. So like the axe and the mallet, from what I can tell, they do the same thing. So there's at this point there's really no point in doing the club, because the club, if you make an axe, you can always use your axe to chop down trees. So you use those mats like the bronze. It took a little bit of work to get into a bronze axe, and that same cost it costs you the same amount to make a bronze mace. And so, but you can't use a bronze mace to bust rock or chop down trees, but you can use an axe to fight monsters, which is the same damage, and chop down trees. So it's just, you're kind of, in a lot of ways, you're really forced to stick with that axe. And so yeah, that's what I'm kind of coming to realize, is some things are not really optimized the way that they should. They're refined down, but all the weapons so far, from what I've seen, have kind of their unique animation, except for the axe and the mallet. I think they're the same from what I can tell. But it's you see right here, I'm chucking at 46, chuck down to 46 frames per second, and I'm running a 3800 XT with 16 was it gigabytes of RAM? Is that right? Gigabytes of RAM, and 50 frames per second. That's crazy. That is crazy. Of course, if I go to settings, graphics, high, low, so everything is on high, right? So it's maxed out. Let's see if I click test. What does that do? Does it work? Does this work correctly? Yeah. I guess. Okay, that's okay. Interesting. Interesting. So yeah, the frame rate, you know, is the optimization is a real issue, and maybe it's a driver thing between the Radeon and the Nvidia, the AMD versus Nvidia construct. Maybe that's a big piece of this. But with a powerhouse of the new generation of graphics cards, um, and they have this weird. If I look up here, you'll see the world tree, and that's another thing that I really like, is the lore aspect. They've done a really good job kind of implementing that Norse, Scandinavian, Viking ideology. And so if you don't know anything about the lore of the Viking world, it kind of slowly brings you into that Asgard, Middle Earth construct, which is really kind of interesting. So let me load some of this up. So what I've been trying to do is get this stuff to run while I'm away, and I need to make another chest. I need to do a lot of things, but so yeah, and it doesn't cost you anything to repair your stuff, which is good, because as quickly as stuff breaks, it would be really painful. That if they did a hardcore mode, I think that would be the best adaptation of a hardcore mode, is to make it to where items, it costs you mats to repair items. That would be and maybe add a roguelite version as well, to where if you die for good. But yeah, so you can see where my stamina here, I haven't eaten any food, so my stamina, my health are 25 health. Hands down, the best food system currently available that I've come across, hands down. Um, I'm just gonna keep the furnace going. I need to really do some dungeon crawling, but I wanted to get kind of some of the armor updated, and I wanted to get some of the core going. There, and you can see you got the furnaces kicking out. Picked up 3, so I know I need some more tin. I'd like to get another smelter going. So I got 6 tin. So I could see. This will be too heavy if I. Yeah. See, that's. Let's see if I can make it over to the bench. Let's see if I can just make it over. Yeah. Okay, we're good. And then, oh, 5 ooh, nice little detail. Little multiplier there. Very nice. Very nice. Very. Oh, it did it all at once. It did it all at once. That's awesome. That's awesome. So instead of taking the time to run through, see, the lots of little details. You know, in the menu, I'm okay with the menu. I'm okay with the menu. It's just, I would like to see them have either open up the modding for higher textures, higher quality textures, because man, textures look like doo doo. I mean, they really look like doo doo, and I know it's supposed to be. You know, I don't spend like $3 grand accumulatively to for a nice rig to have games, you know, games to look like doo doo, you know, to. So that's unfortunate. One of the unfortunate downsides of this game. You know, they need to come out with a mod, the mod community have some fun with it, or come up with an alternate texture pack, a high res and a low res. Because the argument for running low textures on this thing aren't really viable when your thing's choking down to 50 frames per second in a non-moving environment. And I know it's all the post-processing going on, but this is crazy. Okay, I think I'm gonna stop the video here. I don't mean to end it on a negative note. It's just kind of a construct. If I were to give it you know, kind of a rating, as I sit right now, I'll give it a 6.5, maybe a 7. And if they could figure out how to get some of these textures, just improve, you know, take it from these textures are like Mario Kart textures. If I get these textures from you know, like we got you know, in the 1080p world, they kind of refer to that as like 1K, and your 1440p is like 2K, and your you know, and then you have your 4K. So if this is like, you know, 0.5K, I mean, this is like 0.25K. If we could get this up to kind of a 0.5K, just to increase those texture resolutions by, like, especially on the roofs and the character model, I think that would make such a huge difference. You know, and I don't think it would add any performance bump to the current game. Yeah, but anyways, as always, thanks for watching, and you know, feedback is always welcome. All right, peace.